Good evening. I'd like to call to order council meeting of October 7th, 2024. Can everyone who can stand, please stand for the playing of the national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Carton bras et porter le pays, il sait porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Niagara Region and Grimsby are situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Hattaway-Wendourong, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The regional municipality of Niagara and the town of Grimsby stand with all Indigenous peoples, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest? Seeing none, can I have a mover and seconder to approve the agenda? Councillor Bradsey, Councillor Davoli. Moved by Councillor Bradsey, second by Councillor Davoli. Resolved that the October 7th, 2024 council meeting agenda be approved. All in favor? That's carried. All right, chair's reports. The first chair report is from Councillor DeFlavio for the Public Works Committee. Go ahead, Councillor DeFlavio.
Thank you, Mayor. Through you, I'll try and keep it brief. We had a couple of reports, drinking water quality management system, risk assessment, and operational plan endorsement. I would encourage members of the public and members of council, if you haven't had a chance, to have a glance through the Public Works Department update. It's a great document for knowing what's going on around town and what's coming down the pipes in the future. There are dozens of projects on the go in there, a really good summary and timeline as far as when those projects are happening. So if you have a chance to have a look at that, I'd encourage it. There was a discussion about Grimsby Beach tourism and parking considerations, and there were also some questions regarding the downtown water main project. Construction is to begin in late 2025 on that project or early 2026. Design should be concluded next year. And that's because the grant for the water main expires in 2026. So we need to get that underway in 2025 in order to get that completed in the proper timelines. There are lots of challenges in the projects that we have coming up. Staff is doing an excellent job of handling those challenges, and I think Brandon's online if anybody has any questions regarding those minutes. Thanks, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor DeFlavio. Up next is myself for the Planning and Development meeting from Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. We had a public meeting for the accessible parking zoning bylaw amendment. It was the amendment has all taken shape, and it's good to know that we are over compliant for accessibility and accessible parking in every single development that we have right now. And the new provincial guidelines will reduce on larger developments the percentage of accessible parking, but there still will be enough. And in Grimsby, as of right now, we are well above the minimum accessibility for parking. So we're quite proud of that. And that was the main item from the agenda. And that's about it. Up next, we have Councillor Davoli for the Finance Committee. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor Jordan. The Finance Committee met just last week on Thursday, October 3rd. And I would like to summarize just a few of the salient points from our meeting. We had a delegation from Mr. Brennan, the principal at Grant Thornton, who is in charge of the audit of our 2023. And he basically presented the audit report, which is what we call a clean audit report, meaning he can successfully report that we followed all the accounting rules for public sector accounting bodies, and that he was able to undertake all of his audit tests. And so an unqualified report is always the goal, and that will be ours. I think one of the things that I would just like to share from his report was he shared with us that there were no adjustments that the auditors found that needed to be made to our financial statements. And that's an important point, and I would like to explain why. When we get our quarterly reports, our Q1, Q2, Q3 reports and so on, and when we get various reports from our staff, it's important that those numbers be complete and accurate and that we be able to rely on them when we're making our decisions. And so when the auditors don't have any adjustments that they make when they're doing their year-end work, what that tells me is that what is being recorded behind the scenes is accurate, complete, up-to-date, and so on. And that gives me a great deal of comfort, knowing that there are no large adjustments that ever need to be made. In fact, he said there were none. Now, that's not to say that our staff don't make adjustments as they get ready for the year end and they do all those final accruals and so on. But that is truly something good that, that we can all place reliance on. The next item after he presented the financial statements was the presentation of our consolidated financial statements. And I didn't bring them here with me tonight if anybody is interested in reading them. They do go on for quite a number of pages, as you can well imagine. I think a couple takeaways that I would just like to share with everybody is that, when I read them, I see an organization, when I look at the balance sheet, that is healthy financially. That's not to say we don't have many projects coming up and that we won't be spending some of the money that we have, for sure. But we are in a healthy position, and that is something that gives me a great deal of confidence that when we're planning to go forward, we're starting at the starting blocks in a good position, well-trained, fit, and ready to go, as opposed to being seriously under the weather. And so I read those financial statements and also have a great deal of comfort from the numbers that I'm seeing. The next item on the agenda after that was, so within that is a recommendation, basically. The financial statements are approved once Finance recommends to Council and once we pass the minutes and so on, including passing the approval of these 2023 financial statements. I think I'd like to just comment on the timing of this. Although it is October, our financial statements have been ready in draft form for a while, but we got into the summer and only had one meeting, not two each month, and then had some other issues along the way of people on vacation and who could attend when. So that although they are coming tonight in October, I can say that our staff was really ready with them a number of months ago. So back to the agenda. The next item on the agenda was the second quarter financial update, and that was provided to the committee with a report explaining certain variances. And then there was the usual, because we do get it every month, the memorandum on the Peach King Center update. Tender number 4 went out. Unfortunately, that one came in over what was being estimated. The good news is that because the first 3 came in so far under, that even with that overage, and even should we use up all the monies that have been set aside as contingencies and so on, and the estimate so far is that we are on budget and slightly under. So although everything wasn't aces for all 4 tender packages, we are still in a good position on that. The last item that was discussed and that I do especially want to point out to council tonight is we had a topic and item under other business dealing with the pay-on-demand surety bonds, and I would just like to explain that if I could.
Go ahead.
Okay,
but
this is
be
the last item.
succinct.
So at that particular one, so the Ministry of Municipal Affairs has introduced a proposal, and they did talk about it a good year ago. But what they are basically proposing is that municipalities would no longer be mandated to ask for letters of credit from developers, but instead would be able to use pay-on-demand surety bonds. And what are these animals? They basically are the tool that a municipality has to make sure that the developers actually do the work that they promise they will do when we go into these developments. And a letter of credit is a guarantee that we can draw on with a bank, so that if the developer does not meet their obligations, then the municipality has to step in, do the work, hire people to do the work, and so on and so forth. And this allows us then to draw on the letter of credit to have the funds to do the work. But what they are looking at is moving away from that to what are called surety bonds. Surety bonds are not issued by financial institutions. They're issued by a type of insurance company. And so the concern is with the complexity of actually getting into these animals. We will certainly have to design some new rules, policies, and procedures to deal with them, including sort of monitoring them all the time, because there are certain credit ratings that these organizations must maintain and so on. And really what it does is it takes the responsibility or the decision-making out of the hands of the municipalities and puts it in the hands of the developers, which in essence increases our risk and the risk to the taxpayers, should we ever have to step in. And there's a whole story behind why all of this is happening. But basically, the province has given 30 days to respond to their proposal, which means this ends on October 16th. And the recommendation of the Finance Committee is that we ask that Council direct staff to prepare detailed comments on this, and that it be submitted to the province by October 16th. And that concludes the finance meeting.
Thank you, Councillor DeBolian. I certainly think with surety bonds, I don't want to increase the municipality's risk, and that's maybe just my opinion, but I'd like to see other municipalities using it more and it become tried and true before we go down that road. So can I have a mover and seconder to approve the previous minutes? Moved by Councillor Vardy, second by Councillor Korstanji. Moved by Councillor Vardy, second by Councillor Korstanji. Resolved that the following minutes be approved. Council, September 23rd, 2024. Public Works Committee, September 24th, 2024. Special Council, October 1st, 2024. Planning and Development Committee, October 2nd, 2024. And Finance Committee, October 3rd, 2024. All in favor? That's carried. Up next, we have a receipt of board minutes. Can I have a mover and seconder to receive the board minutes? Moved by Councillor Korstanji, seconder Councillor DeFlavio. Moved by Councillor Korstanji, second by Councillor DeFlavio. Resolved that the following public board minutes be received. Grimsby Public Library Board, June 12th, 2024. Committee of Adjustment, September 17th, 2024. All in favor? Any opposed? That's carried. Are there any announcements this evening? Councillor Vardy.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor. I would just like to say that this Sunday, I attended the Cooper Robertson Foundation event at Southward Park. It was a great event. There were tons of kids who registered and came out to walk. It was just seeing everybody there. I know that they raised quite a bit of money so far. They were very pleased with the event, and have to say I've never seen so many little kids in one spot and all doing warm-up exercises before they did their 1K walk run. So kudos to the organizers, Stephanie and Dave, and it really was a great day. So just wanted to report back on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Vardy. Councillor Sharwa.
Through your chair, thank you. I just wanted to piggyback off that and just mention that the town staff and several council members, we also walked on Friday to raise money for the Cooper Robertson Foundation. And I think there was quite a bit of money raised through the town, which is amazing. But they're also collecting donations still online. So if you'd like to make a donation, you can go to cooperrobertsonfoundation.com. And I believe that they're trying to raise $100,000 for this year, hoping to collect that by December. So if you haven't done so and you'd like to, then the cooperrobertsonfoundation.com is where you do it. Thanks.
Any other announcements? Seeing none, we move to correspondence. Councillor Sharwa has requested the City of Kitchener's resolution to be endorsed by council. Council. Is there a seconder? Councillor Korstanji. Moved by Councillor Sharwa, second by Councillor Korstanji, resolved that council receives and endorses the City of Kitchener's resolution on renovations and safe and adequate housing. All in favor? That's carried. Councillor DeVoley has requested the Town of Amaranth's resolution to be endorsed by council. Do we have a seconder? I got Councillor Bradley. Moved by Councillor DeVoley, second by Councillor Bradley, resolved that council receives and endorses the Township of Amaranth's resolution on provincial updates to the Municipal Elections Act.
She just wants to speak.
Councillor DeVoley, you'd like to speak on that?
If I could. Thank you, Mayor Jordan. I think one of there were a number of things that I've learned in the last little while about our municipal elections, and I would like to just share a few with my fellow councillors as to why I think it's important that we share and support the Township of Amaranth's resolution here. What I did not understand, but came to understand, is that there are actually 3 different acts that govern a municipal election, and they are not all in sync with each other. Sometimes one addresses one thing, and then another one addresses something else related to it, and it can be difficult to know which one really is the final answer on it. Many of these acts have not been updated in quite a while, but rules on campaign finance, for example, third-party advertising and so on are all badly out of sync and need to be updated. And I think even if, should we be so fortunate that the province hops right on this, realistically, we're looking at and hoping they could fix some of these things by the election of 2030, which sounds like a very long ways away, but that is how legislation moves slowly. But let me give you a few other examples. Items that have been raised by municipalities have to do with privacy concerns and release of municipal candidates' personal information. So, something that's very real to all of us is that our personal and home addresses and phone numbers become publicly disclosed. And they don't get to be redacted at the moment. But those are concerns, and we all know why they are concerns without getting into that. But it would be good to have legislation that protected candidates in instances like that. and the list does go on and on. So, I think by us supporting it, we are basically supporting a better democracy. And so I would like to encourage all of us to do so.
Thank you, Councillor DeVoley. Moved by Councillor DeVoley, second by Councillor Bradzi. Resolved that council receive and endorse the Township of Amaranth's resolution on provincial updates to the Municipal Elections Act. All in favor? That's carried. Can I have a mover and seconder to get the Committee of Adjustments correspondence on the floor for discussion? Councillor Vardy?
And Councillor Freak.
And Councillor Frake is the seconder.
Thank you. So I'd like to actually speak to this item. I understand that our legal, sorry to have your attention. Thanks. I understand that our legal says that that what's being proposed here is sort of contrary to what we can actually do. So I'm proposing that we vote this down, and I have a resolution to replace it. So I don't know how you wish to proceed.
All right, you can read the resolution that you have.
Okay.
And then council's free to discuss it, and then.
Okay. Resolve that resolution CA-24-074 be defeated, and that in its place that staff report back with recommendations on process improvements so that council can better understand Committee of Adjustment decisions.
Is there any discussion on that resolution?
I know I, for one, feel very conflicted sometimes when we get a differing opinion from planning and from the Committee of Adjustment. And while we do get, a fair bit of detail about why planning has gone a certain way, we never get sort of the thinking behind why Committee of Adjustment has maybe perhaps gone a different way. And I think to make an informed decision, it would be good to sort of get the whole waterfront of what people are thinking. And then I think we'd be better placed to make a call. Because oftentimes things aren't written in stone. It really is a matter of sometimes interpretation, and planning might interpret things one way and Committee of Adjustment might interpret the same thing differently, with all having the best of intentions. So I think that it would be helpful to us if we could find a process that would allow us to understand the rationale and thinking behind the decisions of both these bodies. Thank you.
Councillor Frake.
Thank you, Mayor Jordan. Yeah, I don't think I could say it better than how Councillor Vardy has already said it. But oftentimes we've met in closed session and open session where we've had one particular set of views, and there's another set of views which sometimes we don't hear or see. And I think it's important as council to make, because a lot of these decisions are really, really important and affect residents and developments quite substantially. So I think having all of the information from both sides of the coin, I think is really important. And I think going forward, that if the staff could come up with some kind of a process where we can have that, I think we're all winners, and we have all the information in front of us to make intelligent decisions and the right decisions, hopefully. So thank you. That's all I have to say. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Frake. Any further discussions from council? Seeing none, I'll read the resolution. Moved by Councillor Vardy, second by Councillor Frake. Resolved that Resolution CA 24-074 be defeated and that staff report back with recommendations on process improvements so council can better understand community of adjustment decisions. All in favor?
Can I request a recorded vote, please?
Sure. Vote on your e-scribe, please.
Just give us 1 second to get it set up.
Yeah. Councilor DeFlavio?
Thank you, Mayor. Just to clarify, every Committee of Adjustment meeting is available on YouTube, right? So if people are interested in seeing the process by which the Committee of Adjustment made their decision, they can watch the video of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I voted in favor of this, but it is available out there.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make it clear.
They are recorded meetings.
Do you mind
Yes, Councilor Howe, your vote?
Okay, go. He put his hand up.
Councilor Frake?
Yes.
All right. I think those were 2 yeses. All right, that's carried. All right. Can I have a mover and seconder to move into, oh, wait. The next council meeting is scheduled, getting ahead of myself here, for October 21st, 2024 at 6:30 PM. We will be back after our closed session. We're moving into closed session now. Can I have a mover and seconder to move into closed session to discuss committee conduct and Parkland?
Oh, sorry, Parkland's canceled. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, yes, Parkland has been deferred to our next meeting. So it's committee conduct. So moved by Councillor Vardy, second by Councillor Korstanji. Moved by Councillor Vardy, second by Councillor Korstanji. Resolved that council meet in closed session under Section 2392B of the Municipal Act, where a closed meeting is held if the subject matter being considered is personal matters, but an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. All in favor to go into closed? All right, that is carried. All right, that's carried. All right, welcome back, everyone. We've just come out of closed session. Can I have a mover and seconder for the closed session direction? Moved by Councillor Vardy, second by Councillor Bradzi. Moved by Councillor Vardy, second by Councillor Bradzi. Resolved that the direction provided in closed session on committee conduct be approved. All in favor? That's carried. Can I have a mover and seconder for the confirming bylaw? Moved by Councillor Corstangi, second by Councillor DeVoldy. Moved by Councillor Corstangi, second by Councillor DeVoldy. Resolved that leave be given to introduce bylaw 24-71 and that same be read a first time, considered and passed. All in favor? That's carried. Meeting is adjourned. Good night, everyone.